Philippine National Police Chief Ronald Dela Rosa compares his first year in office to an extreme carnival ride after President Rodrigo Duterte likened his to a roller coaster.
Yung sa akin, ang course ko eh, tataas, ang gusto daw, mababa, parang higupin yung bayag mo. Tapos akyat naman, gano'n. Kaya makahinga.
Dela Rosa leads the PNP in implementing Duterte's popular but controversial war on drugs. The police have also been criticized for alleged summary executions and human rights abuses in the name of the drug war. More than 7,000 have been killed in the war on drugs. Over 1 million suspected pushers and users have surrendered as a result of the PNP's Oplan Tokhang. Dela Rosa says, quote, "When I go out and people approach to say thank you, it makes me happy. Even when I am abroad, people thank me, so it gives you a high." He adds that high disappeared when he returned to Krame and found out a Korean was killed inside. He says, quote, "You plunge really low and you want to resign." Dela Rosa is referring to Ji Ik-ju, a Korean businessman who was abducted and later killed by policemen inside Camp Krame. The war on drugs was among Duterte's key campaign promises during the 2016 elections. It initially had a 6-month deadline but has since been extended until the end of his term in 2022. Boxing champion Manny Pacquiao says he felt he was set up in the Jeff Horn fight. Pacquiao lost to Horn via a controversial unanimous decision Sunday in Brisbane, Australia. Pacquiao says, quote, "We led by 4 or 5 rounds over him. That's why I felt I was set up." The Philippine senator initially did not voice his displeasure over the decision, but eventually began telling reporters he thought he won. Pacquiao's promoter Bob Arum earlier said he felt a case could have been made for either man winning the fight, while his trainer Freddie Roach called it a pretty close fight. Roach and Pacquiao both questioned the performance of referee Mark Nelson. Qatar on Monday responds to a list of demands from Saudi Arabia and its allies after the countries agreed to give a defiant Doha another 48 hours to address grievances. Details of the response are not immediately available, but it was supposedly delivered to Kuwait, which is acting as a mediator in the crisis. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt earlier said they were pushing back a deadline for Qatar to agree to a list of 13 demands they issued on June 22. A joint statement said they were extending the ultimatum at the request of Kuwait's emir. The demands included Doha ending support for the Muslim Brotherhood, closing Al Jazeera, downgrading diplomatic ties with Iran, and shutting down a Turkish military base in the emirate. Qatari officials earlier said the list of demands was made to be rejected. On Monday, British lawyers for Qatar denounced the demands as an affront to international law. In support of National Disaster Consciousness Month, Rappler will hold the first ever Agos Summit on Disaster Preparedness from July 7 to 8 at the Samsung Hall, SM Aura, Taguig. The summit will gather disaster management experts, stakeholders, and volunteers to talk about how we can all be better prepared for climate change and disasters. Tickets are limited, so register today.